What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be the Thanksgiving special for Roast Tires this year, and it's going to be an interesting one. And what I'm going to be going over in this video is on the truck behind me, of course. You guys probably can't see that well, but in case you're new, if this is your first time watching any of my videos, this is a 2003 Sport Trac XLS. It is lowered 2.5 inches up front, 3 inches in the back. Has a 93 octane tuned for Brent speed, so it is faster than stock. Has a full master exhaust, all that kind of stuff. If you want to learn more, go back through some of my older videos. You'll find all the mod videos that I've done on this vehicle. Practically every single mod that you see on this truck has been documented in some way. So with all that said, today's video is why did I choose a Sport Trac as my platform? And this is something that people, when they first meet me at car events and they're like, oh, what do you drive? And I'm like, oh, a Sport Trac. They're like, huh? Why? And I usually just give them the explanation, which I'm about to go into here. And I'm almost tempted to go inside the truck because it's windy and it's cold. And I'm in a t-shirt and flip-flops, so I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to hop back inside. I was in there for a minute trying to decide what I wanted to do with this video, so it gives me a good time to show you guys the tuner. So there is the X4 that I have. Very nice stuff. Have it unplugged right now so it doesn't kill my battery. So anyway, why did I choose a Sport Trac as my platform? So basically, a lot of you guys know that I grew up with this mentality of trying to be like everyone else because I do have a mental disability. In a legal sense, it's a mental disability. It's not like a crippling kind. It's basically Asperger's syndrome. So, and the mentality of mine growing up is how am I going to fit in with this disorder lurking behind me in my shadows? And I eventually came to the realization by the time I was 14, 15 years old that I should stop trying to fit in with everyone and just try to be my own person. Because if everyone in the world was the same, it'd be a really boring place to live. And everyone should be unique in their own ways. Everyone has their own unique taste in music, their own unique taste in cars, their own unique taste in houses, unique taste in weather climates, unique taste in how long their grass is. And, you know, instead of trying to be like everyone else, I decided I wanted to be different. Going into the car community, you'll see a lot of different setups. You'll find the Mustang people, the Camaro people, the Infiniti people, the Nissan people. You know, the list goes on. And I decided instead of being just another Mustang or just another Nissan or just another or a Camaro or Challenger or Civic or Integra, you know, any car you can think of that has an enthusiast background, I wanted to be something different. I wanted to have something that instead of going to Caffeine and Octane or any other Cars and Coffee event around the country and then being like, oh, it's just another Mustang or just another insert car here, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's that one kid's truck, and they know me by name and all that because I'm the only one. And this has been clear at Caffeine and Octane the last couple of months. The one Adrenaline that used to go to the show I've not seen it. So I appear to be the only Sport Trac out of 1,000 cars at Caffeine and Octane. And it gives me kind of this unique kind of placement as the only one. And I'm fine with it. I love being the only one in that group because that was my mission to begin with, was being unique and to myself. Wow, that doesn't make sense to a lot of the car community. People are like, well, what about the engine, the powertrain setup on these things? It sucks. You know, people have their own opinions on the four-wheeler. I personally like it. It is a problematic child, and I don't think I'd own another one, but I respect it enough as an engine. You know, there's just a lot of opinions in the car community these days on, like, what you should own if you're a car enthusiast. You can't be a real car enthusiast until you've owned a Miata, or you can't be a real car enthusiast until you've owned some sort of turbo Honda. You can't be a real car enthusiast if you don't build your car yourself or you buy your car. I disagree with that entirely. You know, you have to follow so many guidelines in the public eye to be viewed as a car enthusiast, and in my opinion, it's all stupid. And that if you're going to be a car enthusiast, you need to be a car enthusiast for what you like. Don't listen to other people trying to tell you what you should drive. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to events or people have told me, even people I'm friends with have said, you need to get a real man's car, you need to get rid of this truck and get something like a Turbo Civic or a Mustang. And while, yeah, those are cool cars, I'm not dogging on anyone who owns those cars. I love those cars just as much as you do. But my taste has always been in something different and unique to myself, much like my personality is. You know, I'm very unique to myself. I don't believe really there's probably anyone on earth who has a very similar personality I am. You know, the same mannerisms I do, the same tastes that I do. You know, I mean, there probably will be people with the same taste as me. But the same, like, just the basic overall principles of my personality, I don't think are replicated very often. You know, I'm a very different person from what society views, and I'm fine with that, you know. And the Sport Trac is just really, I view cars as a mirror of your personality, and that with your car, it shows off who you are. If you own a Mustang, then it shows who you are. You're a guy who likes to have this loud persona, especially Coyote owners, because they're loud. They want to be, they have this loud mentality and just brash. Look at me, I drive a Mustang personality. And that's not a bad thing, but that's just the vibe I get off of these kinds of people that own Mustangs, is that they have this personality where they're just like brash and look at me, you know. All of them are flashy, all of them really pretty colors, lowered stuff, you know, nice wheels, exhaust, you know, the list goes on. And I believe that your car and what you do to your car is just a mirror of that. And with this, I want to do something completely different. So it started off, the platform was different from what the car community typically looks at as a platform. I chose a Sport Trac when I had the option, actually at the same time as this, is a Honda Accord. I could have gotten a Enthusiast entry-level car. It was an Accord V6 automatic, but it was still a Honda. And I wound up with this. And I'm fine with it. Like I said, I've enjoyed the last almost 3 years of owning this thing, and it's been a great truck to have. It's practical. It's fun when you want it to be. And it's, you know, it's somewhat reliable. Granted, the mileage on mine doesn't help. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I chose a different platform and then chose to go a different route. If you are part of the Sport Trac owners group on Facebook, or if you see Sport Trac Nation on Instagram posting, the majority of the trucks you will see on that page are lifted. Mud tires, light bars, you know, stuff like that. 4x4s with obnoxious suspension setups that will allow them to traverse Mount Everest almost. And I wanted to do something different. I grew up in a family of lowriders. You know, my dad grew up in a car club where every vehicle that was in there, no matter what it was, there was a Geo Tracker in the club. You know, a car that was typically used off-road in the time on bags. You know, I grew up in that lifestyle, and I wanted to be the same. So that's exactly why I chose to lower this thing versus lift it. Plus, I'm just not a fan of lifted trucks, contrary to my location, living in Georgia. You know, everyone here drives a lifted truck, but me, it seems. It makes me easy to pick apart in a car out of too. So, but the main idea here is that I wanted to do something unique to myself, and it's something I get asked a lot, whether it be at events or by people that I've just met or even long-time friends, and they're confused about my choice. And I have to explain that it's nothing to do with the fact that I don't like other cars. I still love to see Camaros ZL1 1LEs. I'm not even a Chevy guy. I usually dog on the Camaro, but I love the 1LE. I love the Vet. I like, you know, the Charger and the Challenger. That's why, if you notice in the videos, I've grown away from being a lover of only automatics. I do want to get a manual car, and I will give the Dodge respect where it's due for their 8 speeds. You know, granted, I have opinions on the new Charger and how they don't have the manual option, and that's really the only thing I can dog on it on, is that manual option, because it's a great car. Having Michaels around has really changed my opinions on the Dodge Charger itself. But me and Michael grew up with that same mentality when he was first getting into cars, and when I had this. We both wanted to do something different back when he had the Jeep as his only car. And granted, he did eventually upgrade to an Enthusiast car now with the Charger, but he did have 2 non-Enthusiast cars that he was trying to mess with and open up the hidden potential. That's another thing that brings into me why I chose the Sport Trac's platform. Hidden potential. Under the hood of this thing is the 4.0 single cam motor. And as much as you guys like to dog on the motor, non-Ford enthusiasts, non-Sport Trac enthusiasts hate the motor to death, and even some Sport Trac enthusiasts hate the motor. The thing that matters most is the performance is almost unlimited. I would say it's still limited by the fact that you can't get over 600 horsepower reliably on one of these motors, if it's even possible to get close to 6 in general. But the aftermarket is there. It was used in the Mustang, which automatically, it being used in a Mustang, has opened the door for so many modifications, on top of the Ranger guys who do modify their trucks, who have this motor in as well. So I saw the hidden potential in the 4-liter, and I was like, well, I can turn this into something cool, which is exactly why I've decided against the 5.0 swap. Because with the 5.0 swap, it would cost just as much money to pull this 4.0 out, gut it, rebuild it through heads and cams, head studs, and practically have it boost prepared, than to pay for not a Coyote swap, but a 5.0 Windsor swap, and drop that in. and it'd be the same mileage as this motor anyway, so it'd be just as close to blowing up as this motor is. There's just a lot of factors in it, and like I was saying, as a car enthusiast, don't let people judge you for what you own. If you're the kind of guy who wants to go to a car meet rocking a Honda Odyssey with stance and fender flares, I find it cool. The kind of unique stuff is what gets my attention. I love Mustangs to death, guys, but I kind of hate going and seeing the same parts on a different car. I hate going and seeing everyone running a Roush blower at the same time. I like seeing the guys who run the unique stuff. Don't get me wrong, the Roush blowers and the VMPs and all that stuff are absolutely mental. But I just don't like seeing the same things over and over again. And that's why I like the unique stuff. The unique stuff like your Sport Tracs, your Honda Odysseys with camber and fender flares, the one that used to be caffeine and octane. I haven't seen it forever, and I want to see it again so I can get it on video for you guys. Even the Kia in front of me is pretty much a non-enthusiast car. It has a bit more of a background, more of an aftermarket than people would give it credit for. This has a bigger aftermarket than it, though, unfortunately for Kia owners. But, it's just a unique thing. And like I was saying, no matter what you own, if you like cars, you're a car enthusiast. Building versus buying shouldn't matter. What kind of car you own shouldn't matter. If you like cars, you're a car enthusiast. There is no real car enthusiast. There is no need to own a manual car to be a real car enthusiast. There's no need to, at least I always say you don't even have to know how to drive manual to be a car enthusiast. And there's nothing wrong with liking what you have and building what you have. There is no need, unless you are just absolutely set on getting that car. If your dream car is attainable and you have the money for it and your platform you have right now just isn't cutting it to you, then yeah, that's one thing. But if you have a platform and you're afraid of getting judged by the car community for taking it to events, and people are like, oh, what the kind of piece of junk you drive, and that's just ridiculous to me. And I know this is going to be a very debated video because of what I've said about car enthusiasts needing to drive manual or whatever. But the main factor is that a car enthusiast is a car enthusiast. There is no criteria to be a true car enthusiast. There is no gate rites of passage to being a car enthusiast. You can drive what you drive and still be a car enthusiast. I have seen multiple people take cars that you would not expect to be car enthusiast cars and turn them into car enthusiast cars. Michael is a prime example. If we go back to about a year ago, when Michael had his Taurus, people hated that car. Every time we went somewhere, it was, oh my gosh, a grandpa car here. It's not even, my favorite was, it's not even an SHO, but it still hung up with a lot of cars that you would not expect a stock, or not in stock, his car was almost FBO, but a Taurus, a base model front wheel drive 260 horsepower Taurus, to be hanging up with some of the prime enthusiast cars, if you will, that people are buying. So basically, more of the story is you choose a platform that you like. And this was one chassis that I wanted to build on. And there is nothing wrong with picking something unique to yourself that you enjoy. And that's exactly what I've done. I haven't chose something just out of, partially the fact that my parents bought it for me and it was a gift. But that I enjoy this chassis. I enjoy this truck. I've enjoyed learning from countless other Sport Trac people, such as, formerly Automotive School, Tinker and Thomas. I've learned a lot of stuff through some of his videos about what the trucks are capable of, what you can do to them to customize them your own way, what they're compatible with. Other YouTubers and stuff I've watched about these trucks, they are not just ordinary daily drivers. You can really pimp these things out. And I've seen it with so many other videos on YouTube by former track YouTubers or whatever, and I'm happy to be a part of this family with this truck. There's, like I said, nothing wrong with these. I really cannot complain about it. So what, it doesn't have a V8 option in this year. Sucks, I don't care. The Avalanche had an 8.1 liter V8 option, okay. People want a dog in your platform all day. And in my opinion, you stick to what you like, everyone wants to dog in each other's platforms these days in the car community, and it's disappointing. Why can't the car community just come together and respect each other? That's basically my thing. I hate going to events and getting dogged. But basically, to end this video off, I chose the Sport Trac because I wanted something different. I wanted something special to myself. I did not want something that everyone would go to an event and be like, oh, it's just another car. You know, I wanted it to be just, you know, oh yeah, that's that one kid's with that Sport Trac. You know, he did this with it. You know, stuff like that. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, guys.